I grew up in a big family with lots of mouths to feed, so it was always kind of pretty hectic. But I suppose first food memories for me were things like picking blackberries or wild garlic. They were kind of having stained garlicky fingers from picking wild garlic as a child. They're kind of memories that I love and cherish now. I think it's really important, and it gets you generally excited about food when you get to be part of that aspect. I've been working in kitchens since I was 19, so it's not been a quick process. It's just been a lot of hard work, graft, washing dishes, peeling eggs, you know, right from the bottom, and just working up and up and up. And I'm really fortunate to be here today, and it's so exciting to be able to make and design and write my own menus today. So I'm really lucky. I did study at Leeds, and that was a great training base for me. Throughout that I was working in kitchens, and I suppose I always knew for me that that was the area I wanted to be, and I was quite fortunate that once I started doing stages, fancy word basically for work experience, I could just tell that was totally what I just fell in love with, the buzz and the running around and the shouting, and I learned really visually. So for me, watching someone, being close to someone that was really talented and seeing the colours and the textures, I just kind of fell in love with it instantly. I hope that my book's really accessible. I mean, I haven't gone away and said, you have pew lentils and dried mushrooms and all these exotic things in my cupboards. I've said, look, there is ketchup, there is salt, there is honey, these basic things that we all have. And I want people to be able to feel, you know, like cooking is easy. You know, for me, in the restaurant, I wrote the menu every day, constantly changing, by simply going, okay, I have this amazing mackerel, or, you know, what's left on my shelves, because we didn't have dry store, so what have I got? And dishes evolved naturally through a thought process of me going, okay, I have this, how can I simply balance that flavour? How can I improve it? And it's simple, good food, but it's just playing around and always having one incredible star. So when I start with salt, I want that to be an amazing moment in that dish. I don't want it just to be a sprinkle, and I don't want it just to be, you know, a dressing in a dressing or a sprinkle over a steak before it's cooked. I want it to be the main star of that dish. And I think if you hold on to that one ingredient, then you don't get confused with too many other flavours, and it really stands out. I must admit, when I use cooking books, I use them more as a tool of love. I mean, I look at them and I read them. I'm so obsessed with cookery books and cookery magazines, and that's all I pretty much read. And I just use them as great tools to get my imagination thinking. For me, that's how I use them. And obviously there's incredible recipes in books that I still go back to now, or I might have some little handwritten notes scribbled over them, or, you know, strawberry fingers or whatever, drips, and they're kind of my most loved cookbooks. But I tend to use them as inspirations and as a starting point if I'm feeling, I suppose, a little bit flat. But I just hope that people will get generally excited about using my book too. When I finished at Polpetto, because we're reopening, I just expected, you know, the book to be a slightly easier challenge. I don't know why, I must have been mad. It was a wonderful challenge, but it was hard, and it was slightly lonely at times. You know, I've gone from a big bustling kitchen, being a bit of a bossy boots, having lots of fun in the kitchen, having all my ingredients turn up every day and be generally inspired by it. And then writing a book is just so different. It's long, you never can stop thinking about it. It was a real challenge.
And quite lonely then compared to...
Yeah, I ended up getting 2 dogs. I was just lonely writing a book on my own. But it was, once I started tackling it as a chef rather than an author, and I got the ingredients every day, and I got everything out, and I just started cooking and using a dictaphone and writing notes and going back, that was when the book really happened for me. And it was moments when I was just sitting in a restaurant and I was relaxed enough to let my brain just turn off, and sentences would just pour out, and I'd end up writing them on the back of menus and things like that, rather than trying to sit down in front of a laptop and force it, and that just didn't work for me. Yeah, it's been a really challenging year. I think actually, weirdly, the most challenging thing this year has been not having a kitchen. I've moved house this year, I haven't got like my own little base, I haven't got my restaurant, you know, I'm not working full time in the kitchen, doing bits and pieces of cooking all the time, but it's not the same. And for me, the kitchen is who I am, and so it's been quite a challenging year not being in that kitchen, not having that banter, not having that ingredients and the buzz and the excitement that I'm so used to. So that's been really challenging, and I can't wait to get back in the kitchen. I think my 3 favourites, if I was to be honest, I'd like to have a couple more, and I'd have the beetroot and goat's curd. I'd definitely have the burrata, pickled beetroot and rhubarb, prawn sayur. I just couldn't possibly pick 3. I'd have to have, you know, the way I love to eat is everyone gets involved, everyone shares, and so those recipes really lend themselves to that. And I'd have to finish with chocolate sorbet and candied fennel because it's one of my favourites.